Once again, welcome class. In this video, we will discuss about kingdom Monera. The kingdom Monera comprises prokaryotic single-celled organisms commonly known as bacteria. Bacteria are the sole members of the kingdom Monera. They are most abundant microorganisms on earth. They are the smallest, hence are visible only through the microscope, and a teaspoon of curd contains millions of bacteria. Is it clear, children? Bacteria occur almost everywhere. Hundreds of bacteria are present in a handful of soil. They also live in extreme habitats such as hot springs, deserts, snow, deep oceans, where very few other life forms can survive. So, they are found almost everywhere on earth. Clear, children? They are also found as parasites living in or on other organisms. They are characterized by the presence of a naked circular strand of DNA that serves as a chromosome and generally lack membrane enclosed organelles like mitochondria, lysosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, and a true nucleus. If we see the structure of bacteria, it is very simple, but behavior wise they are very complex. Is it clear? Classification of bacteria. As you know that bacteria are the smallest organisms having a cellular structure. If we talk about the average diameter of bacteria, it is near about 1 micrometer. Sulfur bacteria, Thaophysa, considered as a largest bacterium amongst all, and its diameter is near about 18 micrometer. Okay? A single drop of water may contain about billions of bacteria. So you can understand that how minute it is. Bacteria can be classified on the basis of their shape, nutrition, and mode of respiration. So we will discuss one by one. On the basis of shape, bacteria is divided into 4 categories. The first one is spherical or coccus bacteria. Almost all spherical bacteria lack flagella. Flagella is absent and they are non-motile. If we will see the measurement of this type of bacteria, it is near about 0.5 to 1.25 micrometer in diameter. In figure, you can see that in this type of bacteria, there is no flagella. Cocci may occur singly. You can see in this, then it is known as micrococcus or monococcus. If they are present in pair, then it is known as diplococcus. Diplo means 2, they are present in pair. And if they are present in long chain, then they are known as streptococcus. And if they are present in irregular group, then it is known as staphylococcus. Second type of bacteria is rod shaped or bacillus, in plural form of bacillus, bacilli. They are present in both forms, flagellated or non-flagellated. The length of this type of bacteria is near about 1.5 micrometer and diameter is 0.5 micrometer. When bacilli are present in single form, then it is known as bacillus, present in single form. If they are present in pair, then it is known as diplobacillus. And if they are present in chain, then it is known as streptobacillus. The third type of bacteria is comma-shaped Vibrio. Plural form of Vibrio is Vibrio. This type of bacteria resemble with the sign of comma. A Vibrium bears a single flagellum. Single flagellum is present at its tip and is about 10 micrometer in length, and its width is near about from 1.5 to 1.7 micrometer. In this figure, you can see the flagellum of Vibrium. Now the fourth type of bacteria is spiral or helical bacteria. Spirillum is the singular form and spirilla is the plural form. Its diameter is near about 1.5 micrometer and length is up to 15 micrometer. These bacteria have one or more flagella at each pole. Example of spherical or coccus bacteria is Streptococcus, then rod-shaped bacteria or bacilli. Examples of this, Lactobacillus and E. coli. Example of Vibrio or comma-shaped, Vibrio cholerae. And example of spiral-shaped bacteria is Treponema. On the basis of nutrition, bacteria is divided into three categories. The first one is photoautotrophic bacteria. Second one is chemoautotrophic or chemosynthetic bacteria. And the third one is heterotrophic bacteria. Photoautotrophic bacteria use light to make energy. Chemoautotrophic bacteria use inorganic sources to get energy, and heterotrophic bacteria use other organisms to get energy. Let's discuss about all these three one by one. First, we will see photoautotrophic bacteria. These bacteria can convert radiant energy or light energy into chemical energy, but they cannot split water to obtain reducing power. Therefore, no oxygen is evolved. Is it clear? So this process is called anoxygenic photosynthesis. Clear? In place of water, as I told you that they cannot split water. So in place of water, these bacteria obtain reducing power from hydrogen sulfide and thiosulfide, hydrogen or even some organic compounds. Clear, children? On the basis of their color, photoautotrophic bacteria divided into three categories or three types. These three types are green sulfur bacteria, purple sulfur bacteria and non-sulfur purple bacteria. Green sulfur bacteria are non-motile and rod-shaped bacteria. We can take example of this Chlorobium, which are strictly anaerobic photoautotrophs. They are anaerobic photoautotrophs. Their photosynthetic pigment is Chlorobium chlorophyll. They use H2S or hydrogen sulfide or other reduced organic sulfur compounds as electron donor. Second one is purple sulfur bacteria. Their photosynthetic pigments are bacteriochlorophylls. These are the pigments. The reducing power is provided by hydrogen sulfide, which is oxidized anaerobically. Clear? Some purple sulfur bacteria use other reduced sulfur compounds like thiosulfate, sulfite, etc. in place of hydrogen sulfide. And the important purple sulfur bacteria is Chromatium. Chromatium is an important purple sulfur bacterium. Now the third one is non-sulfur purple bacteria. These are motile bacteria. And we can take example Rhodospirillum. These bacteria they never accumulate sulfur within the cell. Clear? And photosynthetic pigments are in this also bacteriochlorophylls. But one main point is there that they can grow in the presence of oxygen. These bacteria can grow in the presence of oxygen, unlike purple sulfur bacteria. After photoautotrophic bacteria, we will discuss about chemosynthetic bacteria. Chemosynthetic bacteria are non-photosynthetic but autotrophic bacteria. Non-photosynthetic means they do not get energy from light. They do not use light energy, but they are autotrophic bacteria because they derive energy from ammonia, nitrate, nitrite, ferrous iron, hydrogen sulfide and other inorganic compounds, clear children, for the synthesis of their food. On the basis of substrate specificity, chemoautotrophic can be classified into 4 groups. Specificity is the ability of an enzyme to choose an exact substrate from a group of similar chemical molecules. Clear? So on the basis of this, it is divided into 4 groups: sulfur bacteria, iron bacteria, hydrogen bacteria and nitrifying bacteria. Sulfur bacteria occur in sulfur containing terrestrial and aquatic environments. Clear? They occur in sulfur containing terrestrial and aquatic environments, and they derive energy by the oxidation of reduced sulfur compounds. That why name is sulfur bacteria, because they derive energy by the oxidation of reduced sulfur compounds. An example is Thiobacillus. Now the second is iron bacteria. These bacteria form natural colonies in freshwater ponds and springs. Clear? And they oxidize ferrous compounds into ferric forms. Clear? And energy released in this process is utilized in the synthesis of organic compounds. An example of this, Ferrobacillus and Leptothrix. Clear children? Now the third one is hydrogen bacteria. These oxidize molecular hydrogen, and in this process water and energy are obtained. Hydrogenomonous bacterium belongs to this category only. Fourth and last one is nitrifying bacteria. These are soil-borne obligate autotrophs. They oxidize ammonia to nitrate and help greatly in the economy of nitrogen in nature. Clear? Nitrosomonas and Nitrobacter bacteria belongs to this category only. After phototrophic and chemosynthetic bacteria, third one is heterotrophic bacteria. Heterotrophic bacteria are most abundant in nature, and most of them are decomposers. They obtain their ready-made food from an organic sources. They may be gram-positive or gram-negative bacteria. Heterotrophic bacteria can be distinguished into 3 categories: parasitic bacteria, saprophytic bacteria, symbiotic bacteria. As you know that parasites are those which obtain their food from other living organisms. So parasitic bacteria obtain their food from other living organisms. Examples are Streptococcus, Clostridium and Mycobacterium tuberculosis. These are some examples. And some parasitic bacteria are known to cause disease in plants and animals also, and such bacteria are called pathogenic bacteria. Next, saprophytic bacteria. Already you know that saprophytes are those which depend on or which obtain their food from dead and decaying organic matter. Same, saprophytic bacteria grow on dead and decaying organic matter. Example, Bacillus mycoides. They obtain their food by decomposing the complex organic molecules into simple inorganic constituents. And the last type is symbiotic bacteria. These bacteria grow in beneficial association with other living organisms. They make group and they give benefits to each other. The bacteria which live in intestine of man and animals are good examples of symbiotic bacteria. The enzymes secreted by these bacteria secretes enzymes which are helpful in the digestion of cellulose, and in return they obtain their food from the host. Similarly, root nodules bacteria, I am talking about rhizobium, which are present in the roots of leguminous plants. They fix atmospheric nitrogen to increase their nitrogen supply, and in return the plants provide them shelter and carbohydrates. On the basis of mode of respiration, bacteria can be categorized into two types. One, strict or obligate aerobes, and the second one, strict or obligate anaerobes. When oxygen is essential for their life, then these bacteria are called strict or obligate aerobes, and if they cannot grow in oxygen, they are known as strict or obligate anaerobes. Clear, children? But some bacteria can live in both environments, and then they are called facultative bacteria. Bacteria which can live in both environments, in presence of oxygen as well as in absence of oxygen, then they are known as facultative bacteria.